All right, thank y'all very much for your patience today and waiting for us to conclude our meeting. We're here at this point in time as a board to show and express to the public our ongoing support of the initiatives by our sheriff to improve conditions at our county jail. Specifically today, the board approved $5.3 million in new programs or activities, which include $2 million for devices to provide real-time tracking of detainee heart rates and blood pressure, $485,000 for sanitizing and clinical grade sanitizing, $630,000 for 4D imaging of mail contents, $1 million for 91 additional jail surveillance cameras, and $1 million for an additional emergency management support team to work with and under the supervision of the sheriff. So that's what we did today, again, to show our ongoing support for Sheriff Patrick Labat and his initiatives. And any commissioners who'd like to speak, please come on up.
Hi, I'm Commissioner Bridget Thorne. I'm from District 1, which is in the North District up by Johns Creek. And I didn't speak earlier because it's a hard thing as a new commissioner to have someone that died and that maybe there's something you could have done about it. Maybe there's something we could have done. But I know all of us here are fully supportive of backing up Sheriff Labat and knowing what he needs to do. We're behind him. We hope that the expenditures today will help and this will never happen again. And I hope that we get procedures in place that will mitigate any of this from ever happening. And I just sincerely, my prayers are with the family, and I just want them to know we're all brokenhearted up here. Thank you.
Today, the Board of Commissioners, under the leadership of our chairman, wanted to send a crystal clear message. First of all, our hearts and condolences go out to the family of the individual that passed away, and we will do everything in our power to make sure that this does not happen to anyone else. With the help of our county manager, our executive team, all of my colleagues, and the sheriff, I am convinced that this is the beginning of what we need to do to make sure that the jail is ran and also the employees are safe. Us passing the feasibility shows that we're serious about a new jail. And I know that everybody unanimously may not have supported that, but at the end of the day, Fulton County does need a new jail. We do not need to lose another life. And I stand here with my colleagues today in support of the leadership here and in support of Sheriff Labat. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Marvin Arrington. Again, prayers, thoughts and prayers and condolences go to the Thompson family, but we are committed to making sure that those that are in our care are treated with dignity and respect. Our sheriff is committed to making sure that they receive fair treatment and that they are treated humanely. And so we are taking steps today to try to make sure that this will never happen again. There'll be time for investigation. There'll be time to point fingers. Today is not that day. Today is the day to make sure that this does not happen to another inmate, to anyone else in our care. And I'm thankful for Sheriff Labat and the commissioners for making sure that we move forward to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. Thank you.
I just want to add one thing. Of course, thoughts and prayers, I echo all of my fellow commissioners, but also we share in the sheriff's approach and strategy to bringing the community into the conversation. and to having some kind of advisory board or task force that involves both the board, the sheriff, and the community. So we'll be in discussions on that, and in addition to what we passed today, I think that will help us move forward together.
Today you saw a board that came together, whether Democrat or Republican, male or female, it didn't matter. We're here in solidarity to address an issue. But what is most important is that we passed $5.3 million in investment to support the sheriff and the jail to resolve an issue that has been long-standing. And that was our way of showing that we care. And I want to just send my prayers and condolences and love to the family of LaShawn Thompson. What has happened is the situation is just deplorable and inhumane in the jail, but we have been trying for a long time to address it, finding money any way that we can. And today I want to thank our county manager, our CFO, our finance director, and our other county executives on finding the money to actually address this issue and finding it fast. Thank you all.
All right, first of all, let me say thank you. It has been a long day, I get it, and this is usually the time of day when things tend to slow down instead of pick up. Our hearts and prayers as an agency go out to the Thompson family. It is, and our heroes and sheroes every day that go into that facility, that man these posts and allow for others to really be in a space that we're responsible for care and custody. We look at that, we take an oath of humanity, and we take that seriously. And so to have the support of a magnificent board of commissioners led by Chairman Pitts, this is a historic moment. And I say it like that, the moment is historic, but this has been going on for the last 2 years. And so while we are faced with unusual challenges in and throughout the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, we have the Board of Commissioners that many sheriffs across the state wish they had. And we may not always agree, but we can agree that one thing matters, and it is that we have to solve these problems collaboratively. As Commissioner Arrington said, we have to move forward. This is unacceptable. The buck stops with me from that perspective. And these initiatives, as we get ready to move forward, allow us to combine technology with an older system that will ultimately save lives. And from day one, the one thing that we wanted to do is be able to be collaborative in our spirit. And we've done that. And this is a testimony to that leadership of both your commissioners and our sheriff's office. And so we will continue to hold people accountable. The investigation is still open, and we are moving in the direction of making sure that we as a sheriff's office every single day put service in the front of what it looks like to really be able to provide care and custody. So with that, I'll step back, and if there are any other questions, we appreciate it.
Sheriff Labat, Audrey Washington from Channel 2. A couple of questions real quickly. There's going to be a rally held tomorrow with some of the top civil rights attorneys and leaders in this country asking two main questions. If this death happens in September 2022, why are we now finding out about it, lending to transparency? And secondly, whether or not you have spoken to the family of LaShawn Thompson. Have you spoken to them? And if not, why?
So both good questions. First, let me start with the family. We are scheduled to meet tomorrow. They are out of town. We have reached out to the attorneys to say we will provide a safe space for the rally because we invite the public down. We want to be able to have people express their feelings and what that looks like ultimately. With respect to the investigation, as I explained earlier during the county commission, these things take time. And so everyone should have the ability to have due process. I wish I was able to give due process to Mr. Thompson. right? There's a court mechanism that was triggered that allowed him to have his case reset several times. But again, the investigation will show or not show where failures did or didn't occur. Those things take time. It's not unusual for a death in custody case to take a year or more in terms of getting the facts straight. Expediency is not my concern. Getting it right is my concern. And we will hold the people accountable that if it shows that, we'll hold people accountable.
This is a question for the board on Live News. The $5.3 million in funding, where are you expecting this will come from?
The CFO has identified a source of funding. There was about approximately $16 million, maybe a little more, that was set aside for special elections for this year. It appears that we will not need the total of the $16 million, so therefore, that's the source of funding.
One more question.
So there's a process, right? There's a step-down process. They have terminated their agreement with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. As such, we started immediately looking for new providers. There are only a few providers that can provide the necessary care, custody, and compassion to take care of a facility the size that we have. And so we started immediately. This is not new, right? Proactively, we were having these discussions behind the scenes, so we are in a space that we can readily provide care, custody, and medical needs within the next 31 days.
Thank you, Sheriff. Last question, the young lady in the back.
Thank you. My name is Chelsea. I'm with Atlanta News First. This question is for the sheriff. Our station got some information today. We spoken with the attorney for the family of Deshaun Wilson. They told us they received a call from the Department of Justice requesting this case filed for a federal civil rights criminal investigation into Thompson's death. Had you heard about that? And if so, do you have any comment?
I had not heard that, but again, all right, the case is still open, and the way we process or move forward is quite simply. APD will close their investigation. When they do, we'll close ours. We've already been in touch with Director of GBI. They are standing by to do a file review, and at that point, they actually make any recommendations from there. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you,